Good evening, everybody. This is Mike Monty, one half of Long Island's number one pro wrestling broadcast. We're produced out of Indie Music TV in New York. That's Ron Conkema, New York. Yes, again, that's Indie Music TV. You could also catch us on RTF Sports Network. That's RTF Sports Network, the number one growing streaming sports network on the air today. Catch us every Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Yes, we're their anchor show. And catch our rerun on a morning drive time from 10 to 11 a.m. You could also catch us on the Monty and the Pharaoh YouTube page, the Facebook Live Monty and the Pharaoh page, Twitch TV Monty and the Pharaoh page, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, or any streaming network. We're on it. You can find us anywhere. Also catch us on New York Cable, Channel 115, every Tuesday from 8:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Also catch us Saturday mornings on Channel 115 from 6 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. And catch us Saturday morning at 1:30 a.m. on Channel 20. Soon we'll be coming to Amazon, so catch us there also. We want to thank everybody for the support. And again, please catch us every Thursday, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., Monty the Pharaoh, Long Island's number one pro wrestling broadcast, new, old, endangered, and let's have a little fun. Talk to you soon.
lucky to call off the Russian Nightmare. And you're watching the #1 show on Long Island with Monty and the Pharaoh.
Welcome to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, straight out of Indie Music TV, here out of Ronkonkoma, Long Island. At the board is none other than super producer Matt. Matty, how are you, pal?
Doing great, as always.
We missed you on Thursday. We took a little break because we're doing a double shot today. To the right is the star of the show, Mr. Jimmy Farrow. Jimmy, how are you, bud?
Good morning, ladies and germs. Back again. What's going on, partner?
Same old, man. The corona's striking hard. You a little worried?
Yeah, well, didn't they say this was coming anyway because the cold weather is coming? I feel like we're all being marionetted, personally. But, the cold weather's coming, so here it is again.
What do you think about the whole Thanksgiving thing?
What do you mean?
Well, they're saying in New York you can't have more than 10 people gathering, or you could get arrested.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
So, like when someone's carving the turkey dinner, I got to hang by the bathroom? Is that the deal? Oh, that sounds very wholesome and together. Happy holidays,
I
folks.
don't know, man. I just was hoping for all this crap to go away.
Well, watch it miraculously go away in the next 6 months.
Good.
I hate to, be...
You know what? If that's what comes out of this whole mess,
I think that's what's going to happen. Wow, what do you know? He's gone, and the disease is gone, too. What do you know? Anyway, that's how I feel. But, enough about me. How about you? I'm going to toe the line.
I'm just towing the line,
I'm just going to throw myself out there.
It's a new me.
We're all being played. Anyway.
I'd like to thank the band that sings the theme song to the Monty and the Pharaoh show, our own Jimmy Farrow, along with his partner Bart Griggs, make up the band Wisteria Hall. Wisteria Hall songs can be found on Spotify, iTunes, and Reverb Nation. Yeah. Monty and the Pharaoh can be seen on YouTube, Monty and the Pharaoh Facebook Live page, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Twitch TV, RTF Sports Network. They're there at Anchor Show from Friday from 6 to 7 p.m.
Right.
Channel 115 every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 7:30.
That's right.
7:30,
right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In the reduced version.
You're back to calling it reduced. It's abbreviated.
Reduced.
It's condensed. It's not reduced.
And Saturday from 6 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. And then for
that's
late night vampires like yourself on Friday at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, 2:30 in the morning.
We'll be right back after this commercial break because this is a holy shit moment for the Monty and the Pharaoh show.
So it is.
We have WWE, really WWF, AWA, decorated Olympic weightlifter. This is a holy shit moment.
It is.
Mr. Ken Patera will be right back.
We shall return.
You need a body shop? You need engine repair? Auto Excellence, Collision Specialists. 631-261-6420. That's 631-261-6420. Auto Excellence.
That's right, folks. Canine Corral for all your dog daycare and overnight care. Call 631-549-1544. That's 631-549-1544. And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh, seen only here out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma, New York. Our special guest, Mr. Ken Patera, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. Man, I'll even clap for myself.
That's what I'm talking about.
There we go.
We tried to pawn off some good fucking wine to Mr. Patera, but he informed us he only drinks good fucking beer. So.
I know. And it's a WTF moment. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Mr. Patera, how are you holding up during this
state of the country right now?
Well, holding up, that's kind of a personal
Yeah, well,
moment. I use Staples and duct tape.
hold up.
Yeah,
Glue?
yeah. I live right next to 3M headquarters there in St. Paul, Minnesota, and they have a huge supply of duct tape and Staples. And then for me to remember to go get duct tape and Staples, I have the Post-em notes that they invented Post-em notes,
3M.
Don't you know?
There we go.
Yeah, I just put them on my forehead. Sometimes I'll get 50, 60 at a time. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I need to move next to a 3M factory. You got room in your house, like an apartment or something like that?
I can rent it out the basement.
What is rent in Minnesota right now?
I got 2 dogs down there, 2 Rottweilers, about 180 pounds apiece.
I like dogs.
Yeah, they're killers. Oh. Yeah, you get along good with them. They
Wait a minute. You're going to put my partner down in a basement with 2 killer Rottweilers?
Well, they'd only take one leg,
He's a good friend.
Seriously, what is rent in Minnesota? First of all, I got to understand this. A man of your stature, I know you grew up in Minnesota. Why the hell would you? Didn't you? I thought you were born in Minnesota.
I grew up in Portland, Oregon. Okay. That's where they do the real burning.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, no. Here we go.
So,
anybody got a match?
Why live in Minnesota? Like, what is attractive about Minnesota?
Well,
it's cold.
Weather, I mean,
it's miserable.
Yeah. And full of anarchists and communists and
just
downright fucking assholes.
My God.
But in between all this shit, you really have some nice people. And believe it or not, it's really a nice place to live.
Is it really?
Once you get out of the Twin Cities, because the Twin Cities are evolving into another Chicago, Milwaukee crap hole, But you get out in greater Minnesota, it's actually a gorgeous state with all the lakes. It's a state of 10,000 lakes, Minnesota, don't you know? But actually there's over 14,000 lakes. And that's the head, up in the middle of the state is where the Mississippi River actually begins. That's where the headwaters are. And I talk about all the things to do outdoors there. If you don't have a snow machine or a pickup truck, you're not going anywhere.
You should have looked.
Yeah, especially during the winter.
I don't know, man. I just want to move somewhere warm, 24/7.
Not Minnesota. We can get a snow
I've
tan.
lived all over. And
okay.
So I grew up in Portland, Oregon. And my brother Jack Patera, he was a defensive line coach for the Minnesota Vikings from 68 to 75. And then he became the first head coach ever of the Seattle Seahawks in 76. So he moved from Minnesota to Seattle, of course. And I stayed in Minnesota. That was my headquarters. And but I traveled literally all over the world, in the wrestling business. And prior to that, I was in the Olympic Games in '72 Olympics in Munich, Germany, as a weightlifter, of course.
Yeah.
Most people do remember your brother as the first coach of the Seattle Seahawks, but honestly, I think it's even more impressive that he was the defensive line coach for the Purple People Eaters. Am I getting this right?
And that's when they used to go to the Super Bowl all the time, but they never won. Yeah, I'll tell you why they never won. His defensive line, they'd come into summer camp weighing 260 to 280, and when they go to the Super Bowl, they weighed 220, 215. Yeah, it's called Benny's. Not Benny and the Jets, come on. Benzedrine.
Okay.
They're all hyped up on Benny's.
Really?
Like my brother says, Carl Eller and Jim Marshall, they couldn't even do practice without taking a handful of Benny's.
Wow.
Of course, back then, the team trainer, he had huge bottles of pills. And, the dispensary was always open. So,
So maybe it's not Marshall's fault he ran the wrong way. How the hell do we know what he was taking that time?
That's right.
He did go the wrong way. I mean, it was like, dude, you're going the wrong way.
I don't know how you remember this
fancy.
shit, man.
Dude, that's a pretty famous
He
play
did
with
run
Marshall.
the wrong way.
He ran the wrong way.
Yeah.
The whole length of the field. It was
like
terrible.
60 yards.
Let's take a left turn. Ken, how do you feel about the election? Any thoughts on how the election has turned out, my friend?
Well, this is how I see it. Sleepy Joe.
Oh boy.
That's Biden. For those that haven't been keep staying up on the news, Donald Trump has always been my hero.
Okay.
Yeah, I met him back in '88, and I think I met him in '86 or '87 also. At that big hotel that he bought his first wife and renovated it right across from Central Park. What was the name of that place? Huge hotel. What a gorgeous place. I was in there having breakfast because I was on the Today Show at that time with David Hartman.
Okay.
You remember him?
Mm-hmm.
And what was the blonde that was on that show?
He's got me, Mike.
You
got me on this one.
Today's Show?
65, 70 years old now.
Shit, I don't know.
She's an old hag. Actually, she still looks pretty good. I think she's the one that does the commercials for nursing homes now because her mother is 118 and her mother is in this nursing home.
Well, she's an older hag, the mom.
Yeah, an older hag.
Yeah, than the old hag.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's tough getting old, bro. It's tough getting old.
But, guys don't become old hags. They just become older.
Older.
Yeah, but these women...
With dignity.
Yeah,
With dignity.
Not all of them, just a select few. But, Donald Trump won the election for the second time. He's still our president. When you see what the Democrats did, Sleepy Joe Biden stayed in his basement cellar for a year, at least a year.
Okay.
And they bring him out on a gurney and prop him up. And Joe,
What?
we got some questions for you, Joe. He's looking to his right, and the questions coming from the left. And then he looks up, he looks down, and he forgets what the question was. Now tell me that's going to be the next president of these United States of America? No. It'd be in name only. But I still believe in miracles.
Okay.
That Trump is going to pull it out. And what's the political climate out here on Long Island?
Ooh.
Still,
sometimes I wonder about it, and I don't know if I'm accurate about this, but according to the results, which I don't hold very much stock in anyway,
no.
Supposedly the suburbs wound up voting in favor of Trump, and the city voted in general for Biden. So supposedly that's the breakdown.
Well,
I don't know if I buy
New
that.
York is blue.
New York in general.
All right, everybody knows New York is blue. That's why.
In general, yes.
California. That's what I try to explain to my wife because she's always talking about the popular vote. If everything was around the popular vote, Democrats would win every time because California and New York are blue, and you're not changing those states.
Right.
In fact, Ken, I'll ask you, who is the last Republican to win the New York presidency vote?
Well, it had to be Reagan.
Exactly, and and he barely won. And you know how popular Reagan was,
because
right?
He barely lost Minnesota, and Minnesota is like New York in that respect, very blue state. And I thought for sure Trump would carry Minnesota this time, which he did, but he lost by 350,000 votes. Now, how in the hell did he lose by 350,000 votes when all the mayors up in northern Minnesota formed a pact? Most of them were Democrats. They all voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how figure that tells you how corrupt the Democrat Party is. Notice I didn't call them Democratic Party because there's nothing democratic about the bastards. They're Democrats, and they're just vicious, criminal-minded people, power.
So
power.
let me ask you though this, Ken. If okay, Biden becomes president, which it looks like is going to happen. COVID goes away. The country starts to rebound. Are you more open to the idea
of a Biden presidency?
Yes.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, because he's not going to be in control.
Who is, in your mind? Who's going to be in control?
Well, the House of Representatives and Nancy Pelosi.
You sure Kamala's not going to give him a special lunch to get rid of him
the
anyway?
The thing that we're losing here, though, is the Republicans have the House for the next 2 years. So the Democrats can't push their agenda too far, right? Because we have the House.
The Republicans have the Senate.
Right.
But not the House.
Okay.
All right, I thought we had the House.
We do not have the House of Representatives.
Okay.
No.
Will that keep things at a in-between somewhat?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
It'll be balanced out, but...
Okay.
Thank you, sir. I don't trust those bastards as far as I can throw them. I used to be able to throw them a long way.
Ooh, I bet.
But I tore both my tricep tendons off my elbows, and so...
So
this,
your friend Vince McMahon is a Republican, so
yeah,
right. So you must believe in Vince's
wife,
ways
Linda,
of doing.
She's a Republican.
Yeah,
my buddy Ric Flair, he's a stone cold Republican.
I'm a Republican.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and The Rock, I don't know what got into his brain. He used to be a Republican, but I don't know. It's too much Hollywood.
Right. Look, I want to ask because I'd like you to elaborate a little bit. You're an American hero, okay? Olympics, weightlifting, professional wrestling. You're a hero to many, many people.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, you said, was your hero. What makes this man make Ken Patera look up to him?
Well,
what is it about Donald Trump?
The Art of the Deal.
Okay.
I bought his book years and years ago, and I've read it several times. As a matter of fact, I had a friend come over and do some computer stuff for me. It wasn't working right. He finally, after 2 hours, there was one gimmick that he forgot to push. So he pushed that gimmick, and the computer worked fine. All the programs come up again and everything, And I told her his name's Matt. I said, Matt, what'd you do? He said, well, you see this? I pushed that. And I thought that I had already pushed it, but I forgot. I said, that was 2 hours ago.
So he hit launch instead of lunch.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Something like that.
Yeah.
And
so was the book anything else about Donald Trump?
So I was looking at the bookcase, and there's that goddamn book, Art of the Deal. I said, shit, I haven't read that in maybe 2-3 years, but I've read it numerous times over the years. I said, this guy's got his shit together. And then I met him at his casino at WrestleMania in '88.
Okay.
A real nice guy. He had 4 or 5, maybe 6 of his henchmen with him. And they came they came backstage. Our locker room was the back actually stage, and then we'd go out either side to the ring. And I was back there with Andre the Giant and Harley Race, and a couple other guys were shooting the shit. My wife was there. We were going through a divorce. So but that doesn't make much sense, does it? Yeah, so she flies out here from Minnesota, rents a limo out of Philadelphia, has the limo driver stop by the liquor store. She gets a big bottle of wine. She gets to the...
She had it rough with you. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Really rough. Yeah, so she shows up, and the door guy, somebody showed her to the back of the arena down there in Atlantic City. She was so fucked up, drunk, stumbling. She wore the goddamn 10-inch heels,
Did you record it to use in court?
I should have.
Look at this mess.
I should have.
Here you go, Judge. Check this out.
I was so pissed off. I wasn't even. I wasn't thinking properly. I just thinking, I'm going to kill that fucking bitch. But anyway.
I regress.
Right. The only reason I didn't kill her because we got kids.
You should have asked Trump to grab. Never mind. Nah.
Yeah, right.
It didn't hurt his campaign, so whatever.
Trump showed me that trick. He said, grab him right by the crotch and pick him up.
What did he tell you? Keep a stiff upper lip. Oh,
something like that.
Wow. Okay, then.
He left the door open. I walked in. Next.
Ken, let me ask you. You talked about your family and your brothers, right? Mm-hmm. You're all famous.
Yeah.
What kind of sibling rivalry did you guys have?
Ooh.
Anything? At the dinner table.
Oh, God.
What was Thanksgiving at the Patera house?
Dangerous. Dangerous. Now,
do you arm wrestle for the turkey?
Did you guys try to sleep with each other's wives and stuff like that, just to prove who was the dominant one?
Wives?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm talking when we were 6, 7, 8 years old.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Jesus, God.
Give them time to grow up before they get into those games.
Right.
Hey.
Well, Turkey Day was always mashed potatoes, but during the week we'd have, a pork roast, a beef roast, steak, big chicken dinners, and we always had baked potatoes. And I'll tell you, there were 5 of us when that last baked potato was sitting there. Ah! And I was the fourth to the youngest, It was, well, Charlotte wasn't a guy, but she was tougher than most of them.
There you go.
And so it was Jack, Charlotte, Norm, Ken. That's me.
Yep, we got that.
And Dennis was the youngest one. But yeah, we used to we turned the living room into a battle royal every Saturday morning when we were watching wrestling. Now we lived in a unique situation in Portland, Oregon. We were the first family on the block, in the middle class neighborhood, to have a TV.
Okay.
I was 10 years old, 1953. So all the neighborhood kids would come in. I mean, wrestling was it, So within 6 months, every piece of furniture in the house was broke. And we had some nice stuff.
Yeah.
My parents did. And it all turned into kindling. But, that's where we'd beat the shit out of each other. I mean, we didn't know. We thought it was real.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Of course, we'd be and get the brass knucks out. Boom!
So needless to say, when you became the professional wrestler, your brothers were probably jealous, right?
I think they were.
Yeah.
Because I started wrestling when I got back from Munich, Germany. I competed in Munich as a weightlifter. And I was actually on the 68 Olympic team also that was in Mexico City as a shot putter. But after that Olympics, they took the top 3 and then an alternate. I was an alternate because I had injured myself in the Olympic trials for the shot put. I tore a bunch of serratus muscles on my side. I didn't even do it throwing the shot put. I did throwing the discus. Mm. Oh, Al Orator is from Long Island here.
Oh, really?
You remember Al Orator?
I remember the name. I don't remember.
Yeah, he was a discus thrower.
Wow.
He won the gold medal in the discus. He went to Kansas, of all places. He won the discus in the 56 Olympics, the 60 Olympics, 64 Olympics, and 68 Olympics. He's the only guy to win a gold medal in 4 consecutive Olympic Games. Yeah, hell of a nice guy. He worked for some computer company out here on Long Island. He passed away a few years back. Really a nice guy, though.
Wow.
And so him and a couple other discus throwers were standing out in the parking lot. They say, "Hey, Patera, you want to go throw the discus?" I said, "Yeah." So I grabbed my shit and I ran out. We were staying at Echo Summit. That's above Lake Tahoe in Nevada. And so the Olympic Committee had built an Olympic Village for us to stay in. Well, all they were was trailers, and they were...
No McDonald's?
Huh?
No McDonald's?
No, shut up.
You say he's already throwing a McDonald's shot at you.
I
Nice
love
and early.
doing that.
Bam!
They could have at least giving him a burger.
I've done 1,000,001 things in my life.
I know.
Yeah, some dickhead out there. But anyway.
There you go.
Way to go, Pharaoh.
It's okay.
Way to go, Pharaoh.
I'm sorry. What are you gonna do?
In fact, your agent told me when I was picking up burgers, he goes,
No
"Do not pick up McDonald's."
Do you?
And I said,
Another
"Absolutely
dickhead.
not."
You're surrounded by.
Go to Wendy's.
I like Wendy's.
They serve them.
I just had a Wendy's hamburger.
I picked it up for you.
Yeah, thank you. Very.
See,
good
respect, Mr. Patera. Unlike
Yes.
I've been set up. Anyway.
I'll
What
tell you.
are you gonna do?
But so we were there at Echo Summit out in Nevada, just above Lake Tahoe, and that Tahoe is just above the biggest little town in Nevada, Reno. And Reno was famous for whorehouses. You know, they had the Mustang Ranch,
Absolutely,
and all that stuff. And
I go to Reno often.
Do you?
For work, yeah. Travel there often.
Oh, you ever been out to the Mustang? Or is that closed down now?
No, Mr. Patera, I'm married. I would never be out to the Mustang Ranch. How dare you even say
go
that?
Out there, and there's about 10 trailers, and they're surrounded by a big cyclone fence, and they have a buzzer on the gate.
They got that pink trailer. I mean, I heard they have a pink trailer over there, too.
A what?
The special pink trailer.
Pink trailer.
So where you hit the... Forget it. Go ahead. Tell your story.
Anyway, you go down there, you take your finger and you push the button and it buzzes, and they let you in. And you go in the main trailer there, and then the girls come out. There's a line. There's a yellow line right down the middle of the room. And 8, 9, 10 girls all line up on that line. And they're all in bikinis. And you just pick the one that you want to be with
Nice.
for the next 30, 40 minutes, 60 minutes.
What's the cost for that?
Would you?
Well, when I was there in 1968,
It's like a drive-through.
it was $5.
By the way, you don't get this shit with Hannibal.
$5.
Were they worth it?
2 out of the 9 that came out that evening were worth it.
Wait a minute, I missed it. How
What does
much?
that
How
tell
much
you?
was it?
$5.
Oh my
$5.
God!
It's
Someone making the
1968.
money you were making. Forget about it. You could have went through the whole crew.
Yeah, but only 2 of them
I
were
was an
worth
amateur.
the 5.
I was an amateur athlete for the United States of America in 1968. I had that much money. Yeah.
But you must have went back when you became a superstar, or a pro wrestling
There's no
superstar.
reason to go back to Reno. God, Reno.
Could it be?
I was married by then.
And
God,
well behaved. And well behaved.
Yeah.
Ken, what took the most out of your body over the years? Was it the preparing for the Olympics? Was it weightlifting? Was it pro wrestling? What took the most out of your body? What really,
Weightlifting.
as far as injuries over the years, what affected you the most in the long run?
Well, I went to this Harvey O'Phelan, Dr. Harvey O'Phelan. At that time, he was the most famous orthopedic surgeon in the country. And he's president of the Orthopedic Association. He was based in Minneapolis. Real nice guy. And so he says, Ken, I'd been to him several times. He says, Ken, I'd like to do some MRI. MRIs were brand new on the market back in these days. And I says, well, you want to do MRIs for what? He said, I want to see how bad your tendon attachments are. The tendon's attached to the bone, and then the muscles attached to the tendon. And he says, I want to know how much damage you have. I'm doing kind of a research project. So he took 6 MRIs, my whole body. And so then they put them in a computer and everything's laid out. He says, you have absolutely no secure tendon attachments anymore. Everyone, this is back in the 80s. He says, at any time, these things, your tendons could start literally popping off. Well, guess what? They all started popping. I popped six tendons off, and that's major surgery. Like my right elbow, a big scar. I don't know if you can see that.
Yep.
I popped that baby off, and took 3.5-hour surgery to reattach it. And because when it popped off, then all 3 heads of the tricep muscle exploded, and it was just mush. So
after surgery, how long does it take you to go back into the gym to recover?
about 6 weeks.
Really, that's not too bad.
Yeah, but that was just to get back in the gym.
Right.
Oh, it was 6 months. 6 months after that type of. And then I was wrestling for McMahon and the WWF at the time, so I had to have a special leather brace made. And I had to wear that for another 6 months because the doctor said that if you pop that tendon off one more time, Ken, he said walk around like with your arm at a 45-degree angle, be like a chicken arm. We call that a chicken arm.
Wow.
Now you don't want to wind up with a chicken arm. I said no, I don't. And so I wore that brace for another 6 months, and it healed perfect. I have full extension of that arm now. So,
you're in good shape, man.
Yeah, shit happens,
In the Ric Flair ESPN 30 for 30, Rick talks about Vern Gagne running you guys ragged back in the early days. Any thoughts on that? Can you elaborate further on what Rick had to say about being run ragged by Vern Gagne?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, our main trainer was a guy by the name of Billy Robinson. And he grew up in Manchester, England. And over in England was like South Africa and Germany and what they call when wrestlers started back in the 40s and 50s, they would learn to hook. And hooking in wrestling means that you put a hold on somebody and they have to give up. It's like MMA, you know.
Yeah.
The tough man contest, all that stuff. And that's what we went, that's the type of training we did. Then we'd go and do calisthenics for an hour and a half, do like 1,000 Hindu squats, and then we'd do, push-ups and, all kinds of that. And then if you wanted to lift weights afterwards, then that was your free time. So Rick and I, and all the guys, Jimmy Brunzell, Greg Gagne. Greg Gagne was just a stick. He weighed about 170 pounds.
My partner calls him tennis legs.
Stop.
Tennis legs.
Yeah, but he was able to beat guys that were 6'6", 350. Oh, he pinned their shoulders right to the mat.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a tough son of a bitch.
Are we talking about nepotism here?
Yeah, that's what it is. Nepotism wins again.
For a second, I thought he was being serious.
Since you're talking about Greg, then, if nepotism wins again, how come Pops didn't put the belt on him to try to save the territory?
Well, yeah, that would have been ugly. Yeah, that's the only thing I get. That would have really been ugly.
You don't see Tennis Legs as a heavyweight champion?
The what?
Tennis Legs. Greg Gagne.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't work? Heavyweight champion of the world?
Larry Henning referred to Greg Gagne as buggy whip arms, spindly legs,
Buggy whip arms?
yeah, pot belly,
Nice.
a neck like a stack of dimes,
Oh, boy.
but tough.
But tough.
Yeah.
All right.
He's a promoter's kid.
Was Vern tough, though?
Oh, yeah.
Could Vern whoop your ass?
Vern, no.
No.
Were you being serious?
No, I'm
I'm
asking.
going to come over there.
No, whoa,
please don't come
whoa.
over here. No,
Was Vern tough enough to take on guys like you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
No.
question.
Vern was national heavyweight wrestling.
I know, I
champion.
understand that,
But
but
back in his day, a heavyweight was 200 pounds.
or not even, right?
Right.
So
No, but 198,
Right.
actually.
Right.
Because you have the light heavyweight up to 196 or 198, and anything after that, you're a heavyweight.
right.
And he won the National Collegiate Championship 2 or 3 years in a row. And he was voted by the Amateur Wrestling Hall of Fame down in Iowa. This is about 20 years ago. He was voted the #1 amateur wrestler in the United States for the first 50 years.
Sure.
Wow.
Well, that was my point. Like I know Billy Robinson, I heard, was like really, really tough, right? He could fuck
Sergeant
people.
Slaughter slapped him around like a redheaded stepchild.
Really?
Yes.
Tell the story.
Well, I wasn't there.
So then,
There was Sergeant Slaughter and Chris Taylor, 6'5",
Yep.
400 pounds. He was a Greco-Roman wrestler in the 72 games with me. But Sergeant Slaughter and Chris Taylor and a couple other, and the Irwin brothers from Duluth, Minnesota, they came in the next year into Vern's wrestling camp. And so Billy Robinson was fucking around doing something, and he got in an altercation with Sergeant Slaughter. And Sergeant Slaughter, what we refer to in wrestling as stretching your opponent, that means you get the best of them and then make them give up.
right.
Baron von Raschke, you guys remember the Baron?
Sure.
He was national heavyweight wrestling champion out of Nebraska back in the early 60s. He said, he told Billy Robinson at training camp, he said, Billy, you're from England. That doesn't mean shit around here. Any good collegiate wrestler could whip your ass.
Wow.
He said the only reason you beat people is that they let you have their body. Like they'll get down the floor and then you try to do something. You'll give them a cheap shot, like driving a knee into the ribs while they're down on the floor, driving a knee into the hip, cheap shots. And Billy says, well, that's not true. Well, it was true.
Yeah.
And so Slaughter heard that, and Slaughter wasn't afraid of him anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he injured Sheik, didn't he, Billy Robinson?
Yeah, I was there.
He
That was like the
hurt him bad.
first week of our training camp in 1972, December of 72. Or was that? No, November of 72. So we were all down in a, referee's position in amateur wrestling, and we'd try to turn each other over and, escape and everything, as if you were in an amateur match. Well, then Billy says, Khosrow, that's Iron Sheik. Khosrow Vasiri is his real name. So Billy's trying to turn, I think, Ric Flair. He couldn't turn him. And so Billy, come here, Khosrow, I can turn you. Well, Rick weighed 300 pounds and Khosrow weighed 180. And Khosrow looks at him, no, coach, no, coach. He couldn't speak very good English back in those days, as if he can now.
I was just thinking that. Okay.
So here comes the challenge. Billy says, I can turn you. So Khosrow gets down on the mat, spread eagle. Billy Robinson could not even turn him an inch. Well, Billy gets pissed off and says, okay, I can't turn you. Well, we'll do the get down on your hands and knees, like referee position. And takes his knee, drives it right into Khosrow's hip. Oh, I was there and I said, you motherfucker. What a cheap shot.
Yeah.
And well, Khosrow's damn near in tears. And he had a lump and a bruise on his hip for a month after that. And I told Billy after training camp that day, it was 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
We go to training camp. And I said, why did you do that? Well, he's making fun of me. I said, no, he wasn't making fun of you. He just said that, that you couldn't turn him, and that was it.
So Vern didn't get involved and say, hey, take it easy on these guys?
Vern wasn't there.
Wasn't there at all?
No, he was at the office that day.
Okay.
But Vern did show up a day or two later, and we all had a little powwow, let's say, about what Billy was doing, taking cheap shots and stuff. And then a few weeks after that, Barron comes out and tells Billy that, he couldn't beat an average college wrestler. So anyway, that was it.
Well, speaking of tough guys, you have the illustrious career to be able to wrestle against the living legend Bruno, or former living legend Bruno Sammartino. and Hulk Hogan, who arguably could be the greatest wrestler of all time. Your opinion?
In what capacity?
How about the greatest draw of all time?
Now you're talking.
Okay.
Now you're talking.
Again, when I look at a wrestler, I look at it's not necessarily has to be the greatest wrestler. You know, they have to have all the tools, right? Good mic skills,
right?
Have a good look, right?
Right.
You know, can wrestle, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be the best wrestler of all time.
Bit,
yeah.
Serviceable.
So
give us something.
You know, for me, Hulk. I grew up on Hulk Hogan, I guess, and not grew up on it, but to me, he is probably one at least in the top 3 greatest. But can you compare the two?
Bruno and Hogan.
Yeah. Well, I saw Hulk about a year ago on some talk show, and somebody asked him who the greatest performer was in wrestling. He says, "Oh, without a doubt, Ric Flair."
I disagree, by the way.
Okay, now
I'm kind of with him as far as the whole package.
Yeah, now
you
can't really pick one. You got to take a 5.
It's tough,
and then 10. Maybe 10 would be
right.
Better suited.
Yes. The next thing you know, you have 20. But go on.
Yeah, because like Hulk had the big foot, bounce off the rope, and the big leg.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And what else?
Oh, you forgot the other well-rounded part of the arsenal, the 3 punches. You.
But you
only need 3.
At the time, that's all that was needed.
The fans they loved it.
Again, Minnesota guy, AWA, different than a WWF person that grows up on this type of wrestling. With all due respect, huge Bruno fan. Bruno, I didn't think was a great wrestler either, and he didn't have very good mic skills, in my opinion.
Nobody thought he was a good wrestler.
No,
really,
but he was hot.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll tell you a funny story. We're at the TV studio in Minneapolis, and Vern starts. There's about 50 of us in there, and we're getting ready for some big anniversary deal. So we have Hulk and Mad Dog Vachon, the Giant. Nick Bockwinkel, Ray the Crippler Stevens. I mean, shit, everybody was there. Me and Jerry Blackwell. I mean, everybody was there in the studio. So Vern started fucking around with Hulk. Now, Hulk's 6'5". At that time, he probably weighed 300. And Vern is like 5'10", 58 years of age, not in the best shape.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was all right for going to the tennis court, because that's where he trained, on the tennis court.
Right.
And so he tries to leg dive Hulk. Well, let's say here's Hulk and here's Vern. So Vern tries to leg dive Hulk. Hulk just collapses on top of him and hooks him around the waist. Vern's on face down on the floor, the concrete floor of the TV studio, and all you see is 2 hands and 2 feet sticking out.
Yeah,
you know,
he's been enveloped.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but I mean, professional wrestling is not a tough man sport, right? It's an entertainment. Look, great athletes, Olympic weightlifters.
There's a lot of tough people.
I get that, but it's not meant to be like who's the toughest, right? It's about entertaining, and that's my point.
Yeah.
Was Sammartino, who, in your opinion, who was the better draw, Sammartino or Hogan?
Oh, Hogan.
Logical.
But in the beginning, when it was more ethnic, more Italians and Greeks in the northeast here, well, Bruno, shit, you couldn't beat Bruno.
Right.
I mean, every spaghetti vendor in town.
When did you get more butterflies? Like, because you wrestled in the Garden against Sammartino,
I
sold
had
out.
butterflies. Oh.
Did you have more butterflies wrestling Hogan in those crowds, or the Sammartino crowds?
No, Sammartino.
Yeah.
Because I was in awe.
Yeah.
Of Bruno. You know, I'd only been. I was right out of the Olympics in '72, and here I'm in. 5 years later, I'm in Madison Square Garden wrestling Bruno in the main event. And he was a big Ken Patera fan. He watched all my weightlifting in the national championships, the Pan American Games where I won 4 gold medals, the Olympic Games. And shit, he even knew about my shot putting career when I was at Brigham Young University. And when I came into wrestling, all the wrestlers knew who I was. And of course, I don't realize that. I'm just another amateur athlete. Just another stiff.
Oh.
I'm just curious. Compare, since you did work with the great Bruno Sammartino, what was his strength level? To me, he's natural strength. Look at him, man.
Yeah.
Later on, we saw a lot of Rick Rudes and Macho Mans, and the steroid look and the bicycle pump in the arm.
Can I just add on that?
Yeah, sure.
That's a great question.
Okay.
Ken, can I assume that you took steroids at some point or another?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I hated needles and I hated pills.
Understood.
Okay.
So my partner brings up a great point. Sammartino obviously hated steroids, and you, great Olympic champion that you were, he had to have known you were on steroids, right?
I hated steroids, but I knew I had to take some.
Were you ever pressured to take?
Yeah.
Steroids? You were pressured. Okay.
Yeah.
So Sammartino ever talked to you about that at all?
Yeah, I talked to Bruno about it.
Try to discourage you from taking roids, or?
No, this is way after the Olympics.
Okay.
This is from '72 to when I first met Bruno in '76.
How was his strength level, though, getting back to my question, compared to some of these amazing specimens we saw later?
Not really, because he was past his prime and he wasn't lifting heavy weights anymore when I wrestled him.
Okay.
So, body strength. But you know you're in the ring with somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about guys back in those days who could compare to your strength? Your strength is legendary. How about a guy like Tony Atlas? Was there anyone else you ever got in the ring with and said, wow, this guy's actually as strong as me? Or close?
Well, there again, Tony had more arm strength than leg strength. Okay. Seriously.
Okay.
Yeah, he bench pressed almost 600 pounds. He couldn't squat 600 pounds.
Right.
I think Tony said he benched 651. He broke Sammartino's record or something when he was in the studio. Yeah. That's what he said. Yeah.
What about Bravo? Dino Bravo?
Dino did 630, legit.
Wow. Yeah, Dino was a... Ken, the story goes back when you're in the WWF that Vince Sr. promised to make you the transitional heavyweight champion before Backlund.
Yeah.
But that fell through and they gave it to Graham.
Yeah.
And then that's why they gave you the Intercontinental title. Can you tell that story?
Well, that was kind of complicated, but let me see if I can stumble through this fucking mess. Superstar Billy Graham was working for Eddie Graham down in Florida territory. Backlund and I were up here in the WWF. And so Vince was being pressured by Bruno to put the belt on me. Because Bruno wanted to wrap his career up. And so the old man says, he said, guys like Patera, there's very few of those guys. They don't need a belt. They can go in these big arenas and sell turn-away crowds every night without having a championship belt, So I'd like to put it on Billy Graham. And this is after Billy Graham fucked the whole WWF over, scammed them, him and Ivan Koloff, this goes way back, to like 74, 75, 72.
What was the scam?
I never heard the story.
I'm not familiar with this.
They're holding them up for money.
Okay.
They wanted, Ernie Ladd.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
so Graham was in the WWF and held them up for money, and then Graham was in the WWF.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, they wanted more money for their matches.
They all want to be paid main event level.
By the way, I got to mention this. I never agreed with this. That somebody while it may be true that someone is so over that they don't need the belt. Did that bother you that they didn't give you the belt? Because that would bother me. You're world championship material. Did that even annoy you?
I took old man Vince at his word. that he was going to put the belt on me.
He would get to you.
Yeah, it would get to me.
Okay.
Well,
should have.
Then the Intercontinental belt came up.
Mm-hmm.
And that got to me. Then it was supposed to get back to me again.
Mm-hmm.
And it never, that evolution never materialized.
Were you aware at the time? I mean, probably not, but I'm just curious. When you first held that Intercontinental title, being so brand new, did you have any idea that this belt would have longevity, would have all these years later, this great history that you basically helped start?
No, I was very selfish. I didn't give a fuck about the Intercontinental.
Okay. Hey, that's fine,
because
too.
at that time, nobody knew what it was going to be. Vince didn't know what it was going to be.
Right. We took it very seriously as fans.
I know,
like,
but
wow.
it was to the wrestlers, it was just there.
Just there.
It was a belt.
Right.
And then, it did evolve into a big deal until Miss China
Jericho
beat all the WWF superstars.
Here we go.
That killed it.
She's not pitting you, is she?
No. She might pin Triple H.
Jericho.
Yeah.
Jarrett. Although did Jarrett refuse? I can't remember anymore.
Can you?
She was really a smart girl.
No, very smart.
Yeah, she was really
a lot of
brilliant.
demons and a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Can you compare senior and junior? In your
What?
opinion, can you compare senior and junior?
Mm-hmm. The difference between senior and junior, senior was a diplomat. Everything evolved around a diplomatic basis. You take a little bit, I take a little bit. You take a little bit. Nobody took everything.
Mm-hmm.
His office was the top left-hand pocket of his shirt.
Okay.
Yeah. That was his filing system, was the pocket of his shirt.
Okay.
When he told you something, his word, it was going to come true. You could bank on it. Now, the kid, he grew up in a different generation, of course, and he knew he was going to inherit that business, so he thought it was owed to him. Diplomacy, go out the fucking window, Jack. I'm the boss here now. What I say goes. If I want to turn this supposedly borderline for real sport entertainment to a theatrical cartoon show, I'm going to do it. Well, that's where the money was. A theatrical cartoon show.
How did that make Ken Patera feel? Did you ever pull him into the office and go, what the F are you doing to the sport that I love so much? What's going on here?
No, I never said it in that context, but I did tell him when I was ready to wrap it up. I said, Vince, I got my grip here. I can either set it down and go put my gear on, get ready for the show, or I can keep it in my hand, turn around, walk the fuck out of here. And no regrets. Well, what do you mean? So I told him what the problem was. I wasn't making any money. This is 6 months prior to me actually retiring, which was Survivor Series. That was the first Survivor Series, Thanksgiving Day, 1988, and that. So when I had that conversation with Vince, he said, "Well, could you hang out? We can improve that weekly deal." Hey, I was on the road some weeks. The straw that broke the camel's back, as the Sheik would say, was when I got a fucking paycheck minus $50. I owed the WWF $50 for being on the road for like 10 straight days.
Wow.
Yeah. Bite my ass.
So
that's what brought it right to. I said, what the fuck is this all about? They had me out on a California circuit wrestling in Podunk, whatever little town out there. making $150, and it cost me $250 a night to make it. Your rent-a-car was $75. Your hotel was like $75. Your beer was like 20 or 30. Your food was 20 or 30. And then, next thing you know, you're spending 200 to $250 a night to make 150. And this went on for 10 days.
Ridiculous.
Are you
50 bucks, negative 50. I owe the fucking office $50.
All right, with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We got about 5 minutes left, and we're going to have the Pharaoh's final question.
Be right back, folks.
I got to pee.
Jimmy, I got to take a dump. What? No. I mean, I need a dumpster.
Well, for all those needs, you need to call Big V Dumpster Rental, Long Island, New York, 631-900-DUMP. The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite 4-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah. Jeff Quest, graphics design, custom vinyl lettering, and all your art and video needs. 516-317-8204. That's for Jeff Quest, graphic design.
In the mood for a freshly roasted cup of coffee? www.offtherailscoffeeroasters.com. You want to star in your own success? Call QuickCast. www.quickcast.com. 866-7-CAST-NOW. That's 866-7-CAST-NOW. QuickCast.
Star in your own success.
Jimmy, I just got the best hookup on tickets.
Fill me in.
I went to www.seatslinks.com and ordered the best tickets with the best prices.
Call 718-676-0504. SeatsLink, the complete ticket experience.
Tell them Charles sent you. You need a body shop? You need engine repair? Auto Excellence, Collision Specialists, 631-261-6420. That's 631-261-6420. Auto Excellence.
That's right, folks. Canine Corral for all your dog daycare and overnight care. Call 631-549-1544. That's 631-549-1544. And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
Jimmy, I gotta take a dump.
What?
No, I mean I need a dumpster.
Well, for all those needs, you need to call Big V Dumpster Rental, Long Island, New York, 631-900-DUMP.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh, with our special guest, Mr. Ken Patera. Ken, we're going to hit you with the Pharaoh's final question.
Alrighty.
We're going to let you go, my friend.
Yep. Final. Nah, this should be
another one.
No, and I won't include fast food chains.
And it's
either.
not McDonald's.
No
We'll leave
fast food
that. Leave that
chains.
to Hannibal.
No fat. Yeah, leave it. Who? I need pills to stay awake. Next. It all started, as I got to say to you before we began the show. It all started for me back in 1980. I wanted to ask you about the awesome combination of you and the Grand Wizard. What was it like working with the Grand Wizard? You guys were magic together.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Wizard.
He was a funny little guy.
Ernie Roth.
Yeah. Him and my wife were in love with each other.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, and he was a homosexual.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And she was straight because she loved me, but she also loved the Wizard.
Okay.
And how that came about, I was actually being managed by Lou Albano at the time, and we were living in Charlotte, but I was commuting up here, 3 times a month, I guess.
Okay.
And she would come up often enough, because she liked to go over to Fifth Avenue and spend all my fucking money. And I was making, for those days, I was
good.
like these baseball and football players now.
Right.
And so, I wasn't making millions. Well, back in those days, nobody made millions.
Right.
But anyway, my wife says, Ken, I think you should make a manager switch. I said, what are you talking about? Well, Lou Albano's fine. Lou is Captain Lou, and Lou has his own thing, but he tries to steal all the attention from you. During the interviews and during the match, and especially the TV matches, you're beating your opponent up, you throw him out of the ring, and Lou runs over there and pounds the dog shit out of him. Mm-hmm. Well, what's left for you? He's taking all your... I said, well, yeah, that's kind of how Lou is. Well, fuck Lou. She said, I've been talking to Ernie. I said, the Grand Wizard? Yeah. I said, well, wait, what do you guys have up your sleeve? Well, we want you to drop Lou and be with the Grand Wizard, Ernie Roth. And I said, well, let me kick this around. I'll talk to Ernie about it. Then I'll talk to Vince McMahon. Old man Vince McMahon, the original. So anyway, that's how that transition happened. It was because of my wife.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
So she's counterproductive spending your money, but she's hooking you up with the Wizard. So there's something in the middle
you
there.
can see, yeah.
Interesting.
That's exactly the way it should be put.
Okay, and I thought that the two of you were great together. Nobody was dominating the other character. It was very complimentary.
Yeah, the Grand Wizard had a lot of friends off Broadway, on Broadway, in Broadway. Well, they were all gay. So he used to take my wife and I down to some of those Broadway shows. Oh, God.
Nice.
I don't think there was a straight person in, backstage, the performers and stuff. There might have been a few straight people out in the audience, but everybody, that was the gay blade, as I referred to it back in those days. I said, God, is there any straight people around here? No. But that's how it was back in those days.
With that, I want to thank you, Mr. Patera, for gracing us with your presence. What an incredible interview. Thank you for the time.
Thank
you for coming.
Thank you.
It's our honor.
Appreciate it. I was just happened to be passing by,
Yeah, well, there you go.
Out on the LIE here.
Well, you saw the banner out in front of the building?
Yeah. And I
Hey,
said,
look,
God,
Monty
that
and the
looks
Pharaoh.
interesting.
You can catch Monty and the Pharaoh on YouTube, Monty and the Pharaoh page, Facebook Live, Monty and the Pharaoh page, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Channel 115 and Channel 20. Stay tuned. In about 3 minutes, we've got the Nasty Boys. Thank you again, Mr. Patera.
Yeah. Thank you.
God bless.
Yeah, I was just out in the audience